Your dad is an Arsenal fan, and I noticed that you were not even supporting your dad when Sadato gave them 2-1, right?
Yes.
You didn't support them, and your sister said she supports your dad as a person, but she doesn't support his club. Do you think Arsenal played very well and they did not meet up? You know that there are times that luck can shine on some people that didn't play well, and then they just have the best ball positioning, you understand, and they will score. But in this case, I hear that Arsenal played so well. You watched the match. Is it possible that Arsenal played so well and the Southampton still, treated them that way? I want to know from your own point of view.
On my own point of view, Arsenal did not play well, especially Ben White, that they are midfielder, because he's the cause of the first goal.
Okay.
And if he had jumped high enough or waited for the ball to come down before he tried to defend it, Southampton wouldn't have won Arsenal 2-1.
Okay.
And then also I blame the defense and the manager of Arsenal, because the manager saw what he saw Ben White's performance in the first half and he refused to take him off. And in the second half, Arsenal conceded by poor defense. So if Arsenal had not put all those their defenders that don't know how to defend, Arsenal would have won the game. But I applaud Max Daumann. They are a 16-year-old in Arsenal. He did very well. And also, Arsenal should not be putting a substitute keeper who cannot keep in a crucial quarterfinal again of the FA Cup. They should always keep a main starter keeper who is always going to start games in the Premier League. They should always keep him to start. And these are the mistakes of Mikel Arteta. This is the reason why Man United beat Arsenal and Man City beat. And this is the reason why Man City beat Arsenal 2-0 in the Carabao Cup final, because Arsenal put on a keeper who has not played any Premier League game since the season started. So if Arsenal can find these problems, they can win the Premier League title. But Arsenal don't even have have not won Premier League since 2005. Since 2004 when they did the Invincibles. But Arsenal are also not won a UCL. So if Arsenal can adjust this playing style, they can win their first UCL and also win the Premier League.
So you feel that the coach has a hand in this thing that happened?
Yes.
And because I've seen online people reacting, say they should remove the coach. Do you think that changing a coach will make them do better?
Yes, changing a coach, like what Ruben Amorim did for Man United. When Man United were struggling, he was still putting a 3-4-3 formation, because in his former club he was using a 3-4-3 for Sportings. Now Man United are not Sportings players, so you cannot use a particular system for another player, another team, because you used it for your last team. So if they sack this coach, they can be able to bring a new coach who has a better system, like how Michael Carrick is working wonders for Man United.
Oh wow. Man United for life. Okay, so another thing I wanted to talk about is that, are you thinking that there's something, following us now? Now, we're not trying to say spiritual thing. Do you think that it's a near success syndrome kind of thing that Arsenal will play? They seem to look like a club that plays so well, but why is it that they don't ever win? They play, they're always on topping the table, but they don't ever win. What do you really think is a problem? Is it that they do not have, they don't agree? There's this agreement footballers use, like it's a tactic to score goals. This is what we used to have when we had Tevez, we had Rooney, we had Cristiano Ronaldo in Man U. They used to have that formation that was making Man U win. It was just they will mastermind a goal, and then the other person, this one will pass to the other person, the other one will score. Are you seeing it like Arsenal players are selfish, so they don't give out ball? Or what do you really think is a problem that Arsenal does not ever win?
Okay, so the problem with Arsenal players is that they make too much mistakes, and their passing is not always accurate. Like what Lewis Kelly did in the match against Southampton. He did not give a clear pass to Christian Nogard or one other player. Now, Arsenal players are always making passing mistakes. This is the reason why they lost to Man United. Zubimendi made a mistake pass, which Mbeumo countered and scored. So if Arsenal can stop passing too much, because Arsenal have been nicknamed set piece FC, because Arsenal used to mostly score from the set piece, and Arsenal like passing too much. If they can stop passing and always take the ball inside like how Man United or Man City players do, they can be scoring. Or if they can be setting up a player, like their tactics will change to making the striker Gyökeres or Gabriel Jesus being the poacher or the shadow striker. They can be scoring more goals without defenders knowing that the striker is there. So if Arsenal can adjust their tactics and stop passing too much, they can be able to make a difference.
Wow, that's a great one. But have you noticed that in this past season and the present one, Aston Villa seem to be doing too well? Are you thinking that is a change of coach, or is just the fact that luck shined on them?
Okay, Aston Villa's secret behind their success is that their coach has also changed their formula and is now signed some players like Daniel Malen and some other players who have come to the team to galvanize the attack and the midfield. That is the reason why Aston Villa are now shining.
Really? But what is really going on with Man City? I kind of pity them. I don't know. I shouldn't. City used to be a club that people feared. What is going on? What do you think is the problem with Man City?
Okay, the problem with Man City is that Manchester City, if you check their performance in the Premier League, they won the Premier League title four times in a row.
Okay.
So they also used to beat all these teams like Arsenal, Man U, and Man City and Liverpool. But now Man City's problem is that they are no more giving championship mentality like how they used to do before.
Okay.
This recent Champions League match they played against Real Madrid, the first leg they lost 3-0, second leg they lost 2-1. And sometimes I blame the signings because the signings are not performing like that. Like how you saw in the Manchester derby when Semenyo refused to tackle Mbeumo and Mbeumo scored. If Man City players want to win a match, they have to be organized in the defense, the midfield, and the attack. That's the reason why they are not winning. But Man City have picked up a good form now. They are now winning. They recently won Liverpool 4-0. They beat Arsenal in the EFL Cup final, and they have been doing very well.
Okay. But you know, one of the things that stood out to me in Man U's success the last season, or let's say the season that just passed before this one, I think it was either on the Premiership, where Man U was at 15th. And I saw that people were talking to them anyhow, but they still grew up to 3rd. Do you know that's a strong... Because, you know, normally when people get to that place, it's very close to relegation. You know?
Yes.
What do you think Man U coach did that really made the whole game, turn out good for Man U?
Okay. So by what I know is that when the Ruben Amorim made a conference meeting, something like he spoke on a conference after the Leeds United game. He was telling everybody that he's not the coach, he's the manager, and that his deal is going to expire in 18 months' time. So the next day, the Manchester United board sacked Amorim. So Man United did not have any other coach to come and fill in for them. So their former player Darren Fletcher was interim coach. So the first game he did not do bad. We drew 2-2 with Burnley. But the second game, because of how he was playing too much youngsters, so we got knocked out of the FA Cup to Brighton. Now, when Michael Carrick entered, he did not start forcing a new formation or tactics on the players. He listened to the players who were available, and he knew their potential and he put them in their places. That's how we were able to do have 4 wins in a row.
Wow. You know, I know that we have not done our football analysis for a while now because of school. And one of the things I learned from you is how you are able to know every team. You know their players, and you are able to know what they should have done better to get a particular success they've been aiming at. And for you to even know their strengths and weakness is just a great one. And I want to say thank you for being on our show today. Thank you, Samu. Mohite. Say bye to our viewers.
Bye, guys.
Thank you for watching.